Cool. Let's actually get moving. So welcome everybody. This is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform weekly community call happening every single week, every single Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, except in July and August. So we'll be one more after this week, and we'll be then back on a summer break because in the northern hemisphere of the planet, it is getting hot and hot and hot, and people are taking some vacation time and all of that. So it would be difficult to schedule Microsoft people to present in these calls. So it's just easier to make it super clear. July, August. Last year we came back in the middle of August, but then there was questions related on why are you already starting in middle of August? We just went for a summer break because in the UK apparently they go to a summer break in school in end of July, which is a bit of an interesting timing comparing other worlds. So it's good things to we'll learn about school breaks within this call quite often. Anyway, so my name is Azure-Samples. And today we have great demos coming up from a large group of people. So we'll start with a Milan having a demo related on extending Copilot with Azure Communication Services. Super cool setup, and looking forward on seeing that one in practice. Milan had a great demo last week also on Azure Communication Services. Now that we're able to talk about all of the latest stuff, what was shared already in build. Now, and the second demo of today, definitely not any least than the first one, is with Luca, Liana, and Logan around creating Copilot extensibility using SPFx and adaptive cards. Super cool functionality as well. So rather than being dependent always on clicking a keyboard, and because not often if you are using, for example, a mobile, it would be nice to have just buttons to reactions and do things to make happen in a Copilot. And that's what this is all about. So using the familiar web stack-based SPFx extensibility to extend the Copilot chat. Super cool stuff. Looking forward on that demo as well, which was actually shown also in build. Great stuff. Now, we do have a lot of assets to get started on Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, and so please subscribe on our YouTube channel at Microsoft Community Learning location at Community YouTube. We have a LinkedIn group. We actually have a LinkedIn page as well. Then we have open source assets, sample galleries, a lot of stuff available, and all of those URLs can be found at AKMS Community Home. You want to follow us on Twitter or in LinkedIn to be able to stay up to date on what's happening. We're always pushing out a lot of the agendas and updates and all of that on these channels, so you're able to know advance what we're going to cover within these calls. Now, related on the website, this is still a relatively new. We're talking about weeks rather than months when we did a redesign of this one, and I really like the one feature which we talked about a bit more actually recently, which is that if you go to the website right now and scan under the upcoming events, it will show live under the call. Which is happening right now, which is really cool. So you're able to follow up on what's happening where and when within this calendar. Now, on summertime, the Tuesday call will be on break, so you will see also that call is not happening, or we'll get in hiatus definition for those calls and update it within a week or two. So you'll get a notification on that page as well on those changes, which is super cool. We also relatively recently updated the YouTube channel, which was changed from the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community to the Microsoft Learning, Microsoft Community Learning, and we do have a lot of partners onboarding on this channel. So more and more people are using this all the time, which is awesome as well. Now, we already talked about this call, 8 a.m. Tuesday is on a summer break in July and August. When you click the join link, during that time, you will be redirected to a page which will basically tell you that this call is on break. Now, the other calls will get executed normally. So we'll have Power Platform monthly community call in June and July and August, also Office Add-ons community call, and then our Thursday 7 a.m. Pacific time series, which is either SharePoint Framework, Vivo Connection SharePoint Framework community call, or the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community calls. So those are executed normally, no breaks on those. So only Tuesday call is on a break in July and August. You can find all of the recurrent invites as AKMS Community calls URL, and you can also use the Meetup service to stay up to date on the agendas which are happening, which is really cool. Now, for many of those calls, we do welcome community presenters. This is a great way, for example, getting your MVP status or getting your MVP status renewed if you are already on that part of the journey, or if you want to, practice your presentation skills. These are great opportunities to do that. We're not looking at the demos, which should be rocket science. They can be, feature demos, samples demos, solution demos. You found something cool in the product already. Your way of approaching, for example, solution building architectures, whatever it is within the products or it's something what you build, absolutely welcome. Doesn't have to be open source, doesn't have to be shared openly with anybody, but it cannot be a product demo. So we do not welcome product demos because this is not about selling your products. This is about sharing your learnings with the community and what you have built. A bit of a different perspective than selling product platform. Now, we do have a lot of assets to get started on Microsoft 365 Cloud. We had the developer program is still on pause, unfortunately. We should have an update on that one when we're back in September. Crossing fingers that is the case with the Tuesday call back in September. And then there's a lot of modules available for all of the different areas within the Microsoft Learn. Related on the developer program, the easiest way as a short-term workaround is to subscribe to a normal tenant. The cool thing about this one is that nobody can take that tenant away from you. So the developer tenants will get renewed automatically if you use them for developer usage, but you don't know actually what is being instrumented and what does the developer usage mean. If you pay $6 in a month, you will get a normal tenant and nobody will be able to take that away from you. And it will work like a normal E3 tenant because it is a normal E3 tenant or an E5 tenant. So great option as well. It's not a massive cost, but there is a small cost because we needed to get an identification model on this one. Unfortunately, bad apples and bad people started using the free solution and free tenants in the wrong way. So that needed to then get shut down for at least momentarily. Now, we also have our Microsoft 365 Power Platform shows. So we have videos and podcasts available as in the form of Microsoft 365 PMP Weekly. The latest episode on that one went live today, episode 234, and we will be on summer break on that one until mid-August. Mondays and Microsoft will be executed normally within upcoming weeks as well. Next one, a week from now for Monday. And then developer podcast came back in build together with Jeremy Fake and Andrew Connell. Great opportunities to stay up to date on what's happening. Now, we do have also a lot of samples to get started, and we're looking into aggregating even more samples in here because we know that we have samples which are not quite yet listed in here in the different repos. So we're looking into addressing that, which will get us past the 2,000 plus samples, which is great. One centralized location for find all of the samples from Microsoft and community, making it super easy for you to get started. Now, from here, you will be then redirected on a GitHub, and you might be wondering, what on earth do I do now? How do I get started? Help me. And that's why we have Sharing is Caring initiative. And David Warner is on the call to talk about what is that all about.
Yes, thank you, Vesa. And friends, you are wondering, what is that GitHub Hub's hub of Gits? Where all these samples live that you can contribute to and take from? Well, we're going to teach you. In the Sharing is Caring sessions, they are live, they are hands-on, they are safe space recording, or no recording opportunities, I should say. So we are going to join together in a Teams call, learn how to do things like what Vesa said. We're going to submit an actual sample together, and it is going to be awesome, and you're going to learn, and you're going to meet other like-minded individuals. It is absolutely free, and we've got a samples contributor session next week, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time on Monday, June 24th. So definitely go get signed up. We've got plenty that are going to be joining already, and we are really excited to be teaching you all and working together. Now, once you have contributed, we want to recognize you, and I can tell people are excited somewhere. That would be Fabian. Thanks, Fabian. Fabian's so excited, he's already telling people about everything, everybody. So we love him. All right, and we want to recognize you for the work that you're doing in the community with our recognition program. So get signed up, get opted in. We will track you in all the work. We're coming up with some new sample badges for things like the Summer of Samples, or I don't know, Multiverse Contributor. You're going to be a superhero because you already are in our hearts. We love you all. So get signed up, get opted in, and we will recognize you and all the work you're doing with these awesome badges from Credly. Vesa, back to you in the Finland studios.
Excellent, David. Thank you for that one. And thank you, LA. Finland is taking over. Now, David, as you are waiting for the upcoming slides, can you actually double check that you're running a, let's say, not a beta version of the team, so we're able to take a together mode picture from your screen? Because clearly my screen is not working, but hopefully let's see how that goes.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Get to that moment. Excellent. Thank you, David. Thank you, LA. Helsinki taking over. Here we go. So a few recap on all of the different events which are available. TechCon 365, we just had the Seattle event, which was awesome. That was happening in June 3rd to 7th in Seattle. If you missed it, it's okay. DC and Dallas are coming out as well. Dallas, DC in August 12th to 16, and Dallas in November 11th to 15. So TechCon365.com is the location to find out more. The next big one also is the Power Platform Conference happening in Seattle. Not in Seattle. What am I saying? rewind. There you go. Happening in Las Vegas. That's a completely different city in Seattle, but that's happening in Las Vegas MGM again in mid-September. Really, really great opportunity to meet up community members in person. And then we have a lot of other events available across the world. You can go to the collabdays.org to see them. Some of them are remote, some of them are in person, some of them are paid, some of them are free. A lot of different options to people to engage and get to know other people within a community, for sure. Now, quick recap on the weekly news. Not that many news on this week. It was actually a surprisingly slow week from Microsoft side on publishing blog posts across the different channels, which we're following up on, M365 Power Platform and all of that. But we'll get the links shared in the chat for those who might be interested, and we are always listing them also in the video recording, so you can actually get them through from there as well in the description. Now, we're not going to deep dive there too much. And then one quick reminder, we do have a really cool new initiative led by Rabia Williams related on Copilot prompts. And this is a really a awesome opportunity to also collect community contributions in a sample folders. We're surfacing these also, of course, in the sample gallery. But examples on how to use the Copilot, and these are really valuable. We're looking into scheduling some of these demos or a set of Copilot prompt demos in a one call, so people understand the power of Copilot in practice, because I think you can only see how cool it is when you see it in practice for some of these prompts and what you're getting when you use them. So great opportunity of understanding how the Copilot actually works, and also what are the prompts which are available there. Now, then before we go to the demos, let's do a quick together mode picture if we can. We do have my actually Teams is using a way too new version Ring, clearly because the together mode picture is not working. But let's see if David actually has a functioning setup. Let's see, crossing fingers.
I do. Let me bring it back up. All right, you should be seeing together mode in my screen.
We can see continue on browser.
Continue.
Oh, I can see together mode in the screen. He's good to go.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm seeing. Wow. Okay.
That's just deep in the rabbit hole, everybody.
There we go. I can now see that. I will come to that picture as well. So I'm there.
Okay,
hopefully.
cool. Turn the camera on, and it's a little pixelated, but we can start recording. I'll capture it for us. We'll have it in the video. And all right, let's give it a wave, everybody. You are awesome. Woo! We'll make it work together. Excellent. All right.
That's why it's a community, always working together, finding the right combination and taking advantage of everybody who are in the community as well. Not advantage, that's a stupid way of saying that, but it's a nice way of saying that as well. We're here to be able to take advantage as well. We're here for you. That's how we do that. Now, let's actually then get back on the demos, and we will start with Milan Kaur. And talking about Azure Communication Services in the Copilot. That's a pretty interesting topic to go through. Milan, are you good to go?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Vesa. It is so good to be back. It's always a joy to come to these community calls and get excited and energized by the overall energy in the community. So I will get started by sharing my screen. All right. Okay. So today I'm going to show you a demo on how to extend Copilot for Microsoft 365 by adding communication channels to it, such as SMS, WhatsApp, or email using Azure Communication Services. So this means that you'll be able to add more communication channels or more way to communicate with the external world from the Copilot interface that's available in Microsoft Teams. So there will be three things that I will be using for this demo. One is Teams message extensions. So we will be building a plugin for Copilot, and this plugin will be built using Teams message extensions. Now, Teams message extensions, to recap, has been there for a while, and it's used to build apps that can be used within Microsoft Teams. But now you can also convert it into a plugin for Copilot. The second thing that I'm using would be Azure Communication Services, of course, for the communication channels such as SMS and WhatsApp. And I will be referring to communication services as ACS for brevity, but keep in mind this is not the official acronym, but just for this call, I'll refer to it as ACS. And then the Northwind inventory database. So this sounds familiar because this is a publicly available database which has fictitious inventory data that we will be using for our app as well. All right, so what is the scenario? Imagine that I work in Northwind Traders, which is a beverage trading company. So we have a lot of beverages like chai, soda, protein shake in the inventory. And I, as an employee, I love using Microsoft Teams. So I was wondering, what if I could do my day-to-day tasks as the inventory manager for Northwind Traders from within Microsoft Teams? And I could leverage Copilot to do my tasks such as, updating the stock, or maybe contacting the suppliers for placing new orders. So these are some of the things that I will show you in my demo. So first, I will show you how to use a Teams message extension in the standard way that we were using it earlier, meaning as an app. And second, we'll see how to use it in the Copilot interface that's available in Microsoft Teams. So let's dive into the demo. Here, I have the window opened with Bob German. He is my colleague, and I want to talk to him on Teams. So I will then open the chat with him on Teams and click on product inventory message extension. And I will ask him to look for chai. In the debugger, you can see that my app is running a query on the inventory and is trying to find this product. So let's click on this product. And now that adaptive card is available. So you could do certain actions on it, which is maybe contacting the supplier through email, and click on place an order. Now let's see. Okay, in the debugger, you can see that email polling is in progress and email has been sent. Now I will also open the Outlook where you can see the new email from Contoso Beverage Company. Oh, it's Northwind, so need to make that correction. But hey, the email is here. Next, we want to see the Copilot interface. So I've opened the Copilot chat. So this Copilot chat is available on the left side, on the top of all the chats in Microsoft Teams. Since I'm using my MSFT account, I have popped out that chat and I'm just showing you just the standalone Copilot chat. So let's imagine that I have to host a party for the M365 community. My company has got the contract to provide the beverages. So I need to make sure that everything is in stock. So I will come to Copilot and I will ask Copilot about the current inventory and make sure we have enough of everything. So let's make sure my Northwind inventory plugin is turned on. And now I will take a prompt, which I have pre-written. So let me copy that and paste it here and send that to Copilot. So I'm asking Copilot to find me the beverages that are low in stock in the Northwind inventory. And I'm asking it to show it in the form of a table. Now, keep in mind that I never mentioned the columns of the table, but Copilot was smart enough to figure out what columns would be interesting to me because I asked about the inventory. So setting this a bit. So yeah, you can see there's product name, supplier name, units in stock, and so on. And there are also adaptive cards for each of these products, which will let me take action if I need to. So let's say I want to order more protein shake, but I also want to make sure that I can show you my phone screen because the SMS and WhatsApp experience happens on the phone. So I have that projected on the right. I have my WhatsApp message with Northwind Traders opened up. So now let's do it again. So open the protein shake adaptive card. Let's try to contact the supplier on SMS and WhatsApp. Okay, my mirroring disconnected. Let me retry. All right, we're back up. So going back to protein shake. Now we will contact the supplier. Let's order maybe 1,000 quantity and send an SMS and WhatsApp and click on place an order. Now let's see what's happening in the debugger as well. Okay, in the logs, you can see that the SMS was sent and the WhatsApp message was sent, and it's here on my phone screen as well. And here is the SMS message. Now let's see what else we can ask the Copilot. Okay, so I want to check if there were any delivery delays by the supplier. Oh, that moved away. I was highlighting Contoso Beverage Company to show you that I didn't mention the name of the supplier, but because Copilot has context of the already existing chat, it could use that name. So as you can see, it found out that there was a delay of 5 days, and it also is showing me the Excel that it is using to get that information, which is supply delivery performance. So I showed you this prompt to emphasize that a Copilot can do a lot of actions based on what you've coded in the Copilot plugin, but the core of Copilot also exists, right? Which is being able to access the M365 tenant data for your company, and then using that data to answer your questions. In this case, it took the context of the already ongoing chat, where it recognized that I'm asking about the Contoso Beverage Company supplier. And then it looked up a supply delivery performance Excel, which was available in the M365 tenant, and gave me the relevant information from that Excel about the delivery performance of this supplier. So that's the beauty of using plugins in Copilot, because it could mix both the things for you and help you, do your tasks more efficiently. So yeah, this was the demo. I wanted to show you two aspects of it. And the code that I used for this plugin is available on aka.ms, build 24-ACS demo. I also want to show you the repo. It looks like this. And to some of you, this might seem familiar, the Northwind inventory code sample, because our friends Rabia William and Bob German and Gary Tinder were the ones who started this sample, and it's very popular. So I took that sample and I built on top of it. So I've added communication channels to the Northwind inventory plugin using ACS. So if you open the link that I shared, you would see that I've added a new exercise 1.1, which will help you figure out how to set up the communication channels to use in your plugin. Other than that, this repo also has detailed exercise for every other step, starting from building the message extension and writing adaptive cards, handler, and building the adaptive cards. Everything is in there. So basically, it has steps for you to download this repo and actually follow along and run this and test it out. So yeah, go play with it and try to see what other scenarios you can light up. Because I feel it's very powerful to be able to bring in additional channels to Copilot. So some of the other scenarios that I was thinking is that, imagine that you are the support agent and you're looking at a customer case and you're asking Copilot about the latest email that they sent. And based on that, you can actually use Copilot to write the reply, and then from within Copilot, reply back to that customer. That's one scenario. Other scenario could be that if you are, maybe the support team, the backend support team for the field team. The field team is out there visiting customers, fixing their devices. And as the backend engineer, you could be on Teams using Copilot and connecting with your field engineer over SMS or WhatsApp. So yeah, that's all from me. Have fun with this code sample and reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have more thoughts, ideas, or feedback. Over to you, Vesa.
Excellent. Thank you, Milan. Really, really cool stuff. This is awesome to see. And all of this innovation within the Copilot, it's so much cool stuff in there. Can't wait to see where we are in 12 to 18 to 24 months, which is brilliant. But thank you for this one. Awesome demo, awesome capabilities. And I think we'll continue in the theme of Copilot within the next demo as well, unless I'm mistaken. Right, Luca?
You are not mistaken.
That is good. And I can see the screen. Right? Yep, I can hear you. I can see the screen. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having us. I will provide a brief description, and then I will let Liana basically bring the start of the show here. So very similar to the topic that we just saw in the previous demo. Imagine that now you have invested in Viva Connections, and for people that don't know what Viva Connection is one of the latest products that Microsoft created that brings the ability to surface functionalities and capabilities in a very condensed and familiar way to people that can use them from the get-go without being on the desktop, that is primarily designed for mobile interactivity. Just like you are a frontline worker, you don't have a desktop, you have a mobile device, and you want to interact with the tools that are required for you to make your daily job done. And you have concept of dashboards where you have cards, and you can create custom cards by using a different set of functionalities and capabilities, such as a SharePoint framework, or even very recently the ability to have a bot that was written for Microsoft Teams, or a bot that was written using the Microsoft Bot framework, and you can have that bot being able to also create cards. So let's say that you have Viva Connections in your environment, you invested very heavily in Viva Connections, you have a custom of cards, they're very successful, you can surface that in Viva Connections and in the dashboard. But at one point, what if you would be able to reuse those cards even further, and for example, in Copilot and in the Copilot chat experiences? So it's similar to the messaging extension that we have seen before. What bunch of work that we have done recently is the ability to basically teach Copilot that there is this thing called Viva Connections, and it has these things called a dashboard, and there is a bunch of cards available for the dashboard. And when there is an interaction that is happening between the end user and the Copilot, Copilot understands there is a specific card that was created within the company or was used by the company, and that card is able to provide information that the user was looking for, and the card is able to surface in Viva Connection, surface in Copilot, and the user is able to interact directly with the card without leaving the Copilot itself. So this is basically something that works for every kind of card. Doesn't matter if it's a first-party card, doesn't matter if it is third-party card, doesn't matter the technology that we use to create this third-party card. All the cards are available, and Copilot has knowledge and awareness of those cards being available in the organizations, and most importantly, Copilot has awareness that those cards are cards that you can use, because Viva Connections also supports certain targeting. You can have well set of cards, but not all those cards could be available for you. So this concept of audience card targeting is also respected as part of the Copilot interaction. The other important things that we did was that we are surfacing all the cards that already exist. We basically grounded the content and the knowledge on existing attributes that the card are available. So just like title and description, and the Copilot understands those cards without any needs to change those cards or to change the code behind the card. And one of the things that we are working on and we want to be able to surface before we release this capability to general availability is also to add the new functionalities so that the developer and the operator, which is this persona that is in charge of building the dashboard in Viva Connection, will be able to also declare specific intent for the card to make the cards more relevant to Copilot itself. With that said, let me pass virtually the mic to Liana, which will show what is this about.
Yeah, thank you so much, Luca. I'll go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, let me know if y'all can see that. Sorry, I think my internet might have cut out a little bit there, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yep. And can you zoom in a bit, Liana? It's really small for anybody watching. So.
Yes, let me go ahead and zoom in a bit. Okay, is that looking better?
Yep, that's better. Excellent.
Perfect. Awesome. So hi, everyone. I will demonstrate Copilot's ability to integrate with a Viva Connections dashboard. And as Luca just mentioned, surface adaptive cards if they can help with the user's prompt. So here we have the Relic Cloud tenant site, and I have opened the Copilot chat pane. Go ahead and start a new chat. So first, I will ask Copilot for information on requesting wellness time off. So I'll go ahead and type the prompt. How can I request well-being time off? I think it should almost be done. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, Copilot is able to correctly identify and respond with the corresponding adaptive card from our dashboard, which in this case is the Wellness Adaptive Card. And from here, we can actually interact with the card. So open up the quick view. And as you can see from here, I can submit the information needed for requesting a well-being day. So I'll go ahead and select this upcoming Friday. And I'll go ahead and type in some additional comments here. So I'll type in mental health, time off, and I'll hit schedule. So as you can see, the card is fully interactive and functional from within the Copilot response itself. And for the next prompt, I'll go ahead and ask for more information on how to send praise to my peers. So I'll go ahead and prompt for Copilot, what is the best way to send praise to my peers? Okay, and we'll wait for that response here. And as you can see, Copilot has responded to my inquiry with the praise card, which if I go ahead and select, it would actually open up a Teams redirect here, so I can go ahead and visit the praise feature. And finally, I will ask for some information regarding my pay stub. So I'll go ahead and type the prompt, where can I find payslip information? So we'll go ahead and wait for that response there to show the last card. And as you can see, Copilot has responded with the payslip information card, which I am able to select and go ahead and view the corresponding information related to payslip. So I can go ahead and view the separate months, and all of that information there will get updated. So yeah, that about wraps up our demo for this feature. But yeah, thank you so much. I'll go ahead and stop sharing now and pass it back to Luca.
If Luca has some slides, I don't know if he has. Luca, can you share your screen? So a few questions what I want to ask, unless
sure.
Do you have slides?
I do not.
Okay, can you share the screen? Can you share the slides? So
yes,
it's better for the demo recording for sure, because we do have some time, because we only had 2 demos today, and we were really fast in both of the demos, so that's all good. I would have had a few technical questions, but if you can share the screen, let's talk about a few other questions.
Did it work?
Yes, I can see that. Cool. Excellent. So, few questions. We talked about the fact that it has to be a Viva Connection card, which is a SPFx ACE. Does the card has to be deployed in the Viva Connection dashboard?
Does the card has to be deployed in the Viva Connection dashboard? Yes, the card has to be deployed in the Viva Connection dashboard, and the card needs to be available for you. So, one of the things that Viva Connection supports, as I was saying before, is audience targeting. So if the card is not deployed, deployed in the dashboard, but is not available for you, Copilot will respect that and will not show the card for you.
So it's not as sufficient to put the SPFx card and ACE in the app catalog and get it deployed to the tenant to be able to access this in a Copilot?
That is correct.
Okay, that's we need to talk about that one. Talk about definitely on that one at some point. And then is it aware and how is it detecting the dashboard configuration? So it's aware of the multiple dashboard capabilities and then of course the audience targeting, as you mentioned.
That is correct.
Cool. So if we have the same card in multiple different dashboards with the different configuration, or is that going to go already to 2 complex scenarios? You
as a user has a home dashboard. So in Viva Connection, we support this thing called conglomerates, where you may have multiple companies that are under the same tenant. Microsoft is a perfect example, where you have GitHub, Microsoft, and LinkedIn. Each of these companies within Microsoft tenants have their own dashboard. Users have associated their personality, their persona in the company with a specific dashboard. So Microsoft employees are associated to the Microsoft Viva connections and so forth. Copilot is aware of that and will query, quote, quote, will understand which kind of dashboard are you associated to, which kind of Viva connection, which dashboard, which cards are available in those dashboards, and will basically use that pool of cards availability in understanding which kind of questions are you asking for.
Okay, cool. That is good. And then can you talk a bit about positioning of the cards, these cards versus the Copilot plugins?
Oh, absolutely.
Why card, why plugins, what's the advantage and all of that stuff? So how do we position this from a messaging perspective?
So Copilot plugins are, as was described in the previous demo, a way for extend Copilot extensibility. You build a plugin initially in order for you to have this plugin in Teams. You want to be able to enhance this plugin to also work in Copilot. This feature is a way to expand the ability for something that, from the developer standpoint, you invested and you want to be able to surface your investment in multiple canvases. But from the company and the end user standpoint, you want to be able to reach what you are used the most and what you are familiar with across also Copilot, because the more we are investing and evolving to Copilot, the more we believe that people will spend the majority of their time in Copilot. And when I say Copilot, I really mean across all the Copilot experiences in Microsoft 365. Specifically in these two demos, we have seen two different Copilot experiences. We have seen a Copilot at Microsoft.com in the previous demo. We have seen Copilot in SharePoint here. Those are just two different chat experiences that surface Copilot. So when you have, with this capability, you will be able to you will be able to interact with the card from the Copilot itself. This is not a feature that we have created to build specific extensions for or plugins for Copilot. This is a way for us to wire the dots and ensure that Copilot understands that there is a capability that is used in the company, which is called Viva Connections, and there is a bunch of cards. And in the same way that you expose documents and files and links, we also want to expose these cards in the Copilot experience without requiring to do extra hoops in terms of extra configuration or additional development.
Oh, that's actually a really good point from point of positioning. Just to recap on what you're saying, basically, we want to consider these cards and capabilities almost like similar way as documents. I can ask a document and Copilot to find the document for me in the chat. But of course, I can also find a capability, and then it will expose the cards and the components, SPFx components directly in the chat, which is a great way. Awesome innovation for sure. Now, what is the benefit of using SPFx in here versus adaptive card? Because somebody might not be familiar with SPFx. So why would it be SPFx, not an adaptive card? Comes back on the David's question in the chat as well. So what happens when I click the button? So why SPFx cards?
Thank you for pointing me to the chat, because I'm not able to see that while sharing. So I appreciated you doing that so I can answer that. So SPFx is a framework that you use in order to build extensions and widgets across Microsoft 365 canvases. In this particular conversation that we're having, you have used SPFx to build custom cards or adaptive card extensions. Now, the technology that SPFx uses in order to surface content in the dashboard as a form of a card is still adaptive card. So basically, what from the interaction that the user has in Copilot is still interacting with adaptive card, but you have used SPFx in order to build this kind of card and surface this card in Copilot. So what happened when the user interact and click with the card is basically very similar to what would have happened when you were interacting with a plugin. It's just like an adaptive card that you interact, a little bit of technical details, client side, it's all JavaScript and TypeScript based, and there is a library called Adaptive Card that renders this beautiful UX that you are all familiar with, and you interact with that in the same way that you will interact with any other adaptive card. But the framework and the engine that creates this adaptive card is basically custom code that was built using a SharePoint framework.
And just to kind of elaborate a bit because I'm seeing the questions in the chat as well. So first of all, SPFx is a client-side technology. So if we compare this to the, for example, API-powered Copilot plugins, API-powered Copilot plugins, which we talked about 2 weeks ago in this call, they're basically a definitions in the Teams manifest where you're saying, hey, here's a plugin, here's an API endpoint, hit that endpoint. And then the API is answering based on the configuration in the team manifest. That's basically how that works. Now, the advantage of using SPFx, or the new additional opportunities of using SPFx, is that you can actually hit multiple endpoints. So you can have much more complicated process. So you don't have to have a unified API just to hit on. You can hit 3 APIs. You can combine that data, do manipulation of the data, and then present that. How would you hit those endpoints? There was a question in the chat related on, well, for example, payment information. How would I get this information here? Well, it depends on your payment system. You would probably have a payment system in LOB or a line of in on-premises or within a cloud. It will have an API. With SPFx, you can easily hit that API and get that information for particular user and present that in a UX using the adaptive card technology. So, and that's a really, really powerful thing. Also, SPFx is a web stack development tooling. So you don't have to worry about where it's getting hosted. It's hosted automatically within Microsoft 365 as an extensibility point, as a component directly for Copilot. So you don't need to worry about, well, where do I host the API or where do I host my code? It's hosted automatically in Microsoft 365. That's pretty sweet and simple, making everything easily approachable. Now, again, there's added advantages and disadvantages, all of these different extensibility options for Copilot. And of course, all of this area is evolving within the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. You'll see a lot of innovation across the stack from multiple different organizations. And we'll get more and more mature storytelling as well. So you get more on, okay, when would I use what in which scenarios? But I love the capability of also using SPFx as a UX extensibility in the Copilot chat. So rather than just writing requests in a text, which might be complicated if you are using a mobile phone, you can just click a button, you can click another button, you can click a third button, you can fill in a text box and click a button to submit stuff directly within the Copilot chat. So awesome capabilities. Thank you, Luca, on that one. Thank you, Liana, for the great demo as well. I guess we're going to be closing a bit early today, and that's okay. That's really, really cool. So we've gone a few times over the time. So it's good to close up earlier every now and then. Now, as we recapped already when we started, this is the second of the last Tuesday community calls before September. So we'll be back on September 3rd. But still, next week, we do have already Gary and Patrick queued up for the call. We might have a third demo. We're still looking into potentially. I haven't been able to confirm that because there was a happy family occasion happening with the baby. So I need to get that one sorted out. Is the person back on time or not for the next week? So I will get that one sorted out during this week. But we will end 25th of June. We will have the last call before the break in July and August, and we'll have Gary and Patrick. Gary is talking about the dev proxy improvements, improving your app security, so understanding what APIs are getting hit and don't cram too many APIs for your Azure registration. And dev proxy actually helps on that one. It's a great tool. And then Patrick Rogers is going to talk about introducing granular SharePoint application permissions. So you heard about resource-specific consent and all of that stuff, which is a complex term, but this is basically that functionality, but more for SharePoint. You're able to have a really specific granular permission setups requested for your application in the API surface, and that enables you not to grant too high permissions for the application. So really cool capabilities which are coming up next week as well. Cool. I guess that's pretty much for the next week plan. In the meanwhile, please join tomorrow. We have the Power Platform Community Call, monthly one happening, 3 different demos, cool demos coming up. On Thursday, we have the Microsoft 365 Power Platform Community Call as well, bi-weekly call happening there, 3 additional demos coming up on there. We have our Discord server, more than 2,100 members already there. It is actively, we're getting more and more people joining there every single week, which is awesome to see. And also we are always asking feedback around these calls. We're super interested on what do you think about the calls, what would be changed, or do you find them valuable? And this input really has a lot of value because we need to also justify the value of these calls to our leadership. So if you like us to be able to continue, please have every now and then have that few extra minutes and fill in the form, give us a feedback. We just updated this form actually yesterday, so this looking a bit different, but it's still the same key questions to be able to collect the feedback from the call. But that's it for today. The recording will be available within 24 hours at Microsoft Community Learning YouTube channel at AKMS Community YouTube. Subscribe there today. You will know all of the awesome videos which are getting live immediately as they're published. Just today, we published another set of new awesome videos from Orlando from the Microsoft 365 conference, which was great new content available for you. And we also release a daily new video on different extensibility options and capabilities within Microsoft 365 or Power Platform. You can follow us on Twitter or in X, whatever we call it nowadays. And then the next call will be on June 25th. Again, that's the last call before the summer break. I'm repeating that 8,000 times, but that is for a reason, because we will keep on having people joining on that call. We will redirect all of the join links to a page which will tell you we are on a break. These are the calls which are active during July and August, but no Tuesday call. And again, all available calls from community calls URL. But that's it for today. Thank you, Milan. Thank you, Luca. Thank you, Liana, on the great demos of today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a great rest of the week, and let's stay in touch. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.